Hey guys, how's it going? Well, sorry I've been a little while without making a video. Just been working a lot and the weather's not really cooperating too much and that kind of thing. But we're back on this truck, and what I'm doing this video about is I've kind of had a change of direction on this, and nothing major, but as you can see, it looks about the same as it did last time I made a video on it. But I have actually had the carburetor put back on this and had it running briefly, and so I did that, and that was okay, and it seemed to run a little bit better. But I think I really need to go in here and take a look inside this engine closer than I have already. So I just pulled the one valve cover off, and that was about it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bit of a different approach here. I'm not a fan of these valve covers. They're nice. I mean, I like the way they look, but I'm not a fan of these valve covers. They don't have an oil filler hole in them. They've got a filter back there. That's the breather filter, and you can take that off and put oil in it, but barely. So to put in about a quart of oil, you have to just stand there and just drizzle it in and drizzle it in and drizzle it in. And when you don't see much. And this intake is a real nice intake. It's a spread bore intake. You can run a quadrajet on it. You see those two holes right there. It's called a dual pattern intake, I guess, but it's a dual plane intake also, and it's okay. But the thing is, with this intake and these valve covers, this is one of these situations where it kind of you tend to have some compromises, and I don't like that. I'll tell you why. One of the main things is Killer Mockingbird over here. They do it all the time. One of the main things is with this intake is, you notice over here, this truck's supposed to have a hot air choke on it, which goes down in the exhaust crossover passage, which is right about right there on each side. It's got one there too. It's supposed to, on a normal intake, it goes under the carburetor and helps heat the carburetor in cold weather, and also operates a hot air choke. Well, as you can see, there's no hot air choke. There's no provision for it, and there's no exhaust heat crossover under the carburetor, because that's the whole point of this thing. This is kind of more of a performance intake, so they're trying to keep the intake as cool as possible. And that's good for a car that's a hot rod, modified or whatever. That's fine for it, but for a daily driver, not so good. And this truck probably somewhere back there may have its remains of its EFE heater, which is, it's a little valve that's on the back of the manifold, back exhaust manifold, and it shuts and directs, when it's cold, it directs the exhaust over in here. So that's that. And not too happy about that situation. And also, I don't have the right carburetor for it, and I didn't have one that would work exactly right, so I had to use another quadrajet. So it's got this rubber fuel line that I had to use, running all the way around hither and yon, and I really don't like that. So I'm a purist. I like, if it's a hot rod, that's one thing, but a truck like this is just a stock truck. I like things to be like they came, because the whole point of this is just to have a reliable truck. I don't care about a high performance intake on this or anything of the such. Just not of interest to me. I want it to be reliable, because this is low compression 165 horsepower engine, so I don't care about that stuff on this. So to that end, I made a change in direction. I went to the junkyard yesterday and bought all the stuff to put this engine back to stock. Got the charcoal canister with all its related hosing. Is that how you say that? And that's the EFE heater up there. Oh, there he is. Ow, 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 dog. That's the crankcase breather intake. Set of factory valve covers, even in the right color. And then one good thing about these valve covers, they have the harness retainers, so that the wiring that's going across the valve cover is not just laying around everywhere. And over here you see I needed this. This is another one right there, another wiring connector. Of course, I chopped this wiring off. I have some more wiring I'll fix, but I'm very happy to get that, because these things fasten in different places and keep your wiring looking neat. Of course, there's the factory air cleaner here. Just a plain air cleaner, nothing special about it. For air cleaner. And here's the biggie right here. This is the correct intake for this engine. We're looking at it from the back, actually, but turn it around some here. It's been rained in and it's greasy and it needs cleaned up, but that's okay. All the threads and everything are good. So, but here's the big thing about this. Here is your hot air choke right here, and this came off of a truck just like this one. And there's the tube that goes into the exhaust stream. That's what heats it up. EGR there. So that's what I needed. And here's some different things up here. I'll explain that later in another video. But then I got bolts here. I got a lot more detail stuff here. Another harness. More of that. Some of it I won't use, but another bracket. This is the pipes for the hot air choke that goes to the carb. Over here, now I found I think it was a Nova. I had all these. This car was totally original. It had all these wiring holders. These go under the valve cover bolts, and these hold these plug wire separators. These are the factory plug wire separators. Got more here and more there. When's the last time you guys ever seen those? These things are rare as hen's teeth now, because they all get taken off and lost. So I found those. I don't know if I'm still, no, there's 4 there. That's right. Ow, 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 ow. And here's another harness that goes to the air conditioner and the temperature sender, and then routes into the main harness up like that. More bolts here. So I gotta go back to the junkyard this week and get a few more things. I was gonna say I forgot, but I didn't really forget, because it was scorching hot out there in that junkyard. And that's remind me from now on to not go back to the junkyard in the summertime unless it's just absolutely necessary, because I thought I was gonna die out there. It's that hot. Pushing that wheelbarrow, man, through the gravel, I'd have to stop and rest. It just took the starch out of it. I couldn't believe it, man. Just 100,000 degrees out there. I hate it. Man, I love going to the junkyard, but I hate doing it in the summertime. So vacuum diagram. You think I can hook all that back up? Yeah. So I still got to get the right carburetor for it. GM uses several different versions of carburetors, and I found one online it's just a, you know, one somebody's selling. It's nothing new or anything, but I found it's exactly the right carburetor that goes on here, right number and everything. So hopefully one of the next few times in the video series here that you see this truck, is going to look a lot more like it used to look. Because I'm just, like I said, I'm just real picky about that stuff. I just don't, you know, this is okay for like if you're building a hot rod, that's fine, but you know, I just want the stop stuff back on it. Like these red hoses, those got to go. I don't like those red hoses at all. And I'll probably go back and get another bracket. I don't know if this one might be bent a little bit, but so we got a hose under there that's disconnected. That goes back to the fuel tank. So anyway, I'm going to take this thing apart and we're going to be doing some heavy duty cleaning on this. So tune in again next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.